Okay, so I made a video a couple of days ago, if you happen to watch it. It was just a list of films that I have not yet seen and that I may never see. And I got quite a few comments from people suggesting here and there, you really should see this one. Okay, you should make a point to see this one. So I decided to take these people up on their suggestions and make it into a little project. So I went out and did some shopping and I picked up three films that were suggested to me. And I'm looking for a fourth one. So I'm going to probably make a video for each one and hopefully one a week or something like that. So the first one I'm going to talk about tonight is Saw, the original, 2004. Okay. And I know that everybody in the universe has seen this movie a thousand times, right? So I'm the only one who hasn't. Uh, this was suggested by my friend Joe Mayo, whose channel name is Mr. Cinemayo, and I'll put a link to his channel below. I've talked about Joe before, great YouTuber. And anyway, I can't remember exactly what he said in his comment, but he said, I would like you to watch at least the first Saw movie because it has a very interesting plot line, okay? And so I decided to go ahead and take him up at his suggestion. And this is so far out of my particular wheelhouse that I can't even tell you. I would never think about watching this movie on my own if I wasn't doing a special project. So I thought I would expand my experience a little bit, take myself into a more adventurous place, and see what I thought. So I watched it last night, and I know that, by the way, I picked this up used. You can see the $3.33 I paid at my local disc replay. So it's a DVD. And I know that most of you have seen this or you at least know what it's about. But for those of you who may be living under the same rock that I've been living under, here's the plot line, the basic plot line on the back of the DVD. Obsessed with teaching his victims the value of life. Obsessed with teaching his victims the value of life. Why did I repeat that? A deranged, sadistic serial killer abducts the morally wayward. Once captured, they must face impossible choices in a horrific game of survival. The victims must fight to win back their lives or die trying. And here's a picture of a guy who is about to die trying. Okay? So I had heard a lot of things about this, read different reviews, the comments, not in great detail. I knew some things about it. I was expecting this to be just endless gore. Look at the cover. I mean, God, you know. So so I made sure that I was ready for this. I had my psychiatric hospital on speed dial. Okay, and I watched it last night with an open mind. I swear I did. I also promise you I did not shield my eyes from the gore. I did not fast forward. I did not look away. I watched the whole thing. I was going to give an honest reaction. All right. So let's see. The only name in this cast that I recognize is Danny Glover, who was incredible in the film. I don't know how he got stuck in something like this, but he really was incredible. And so I watched all 103 minutes of this movie. So, objectively speaking, after I walked away from the movie and thought about it for a few hours and then thought about it again this morning, I realized that I had seen something absolutely brilliant. These directors, um, they accomplished exactly what they were trying to do to create. I guess what they were trying to do. Obviously, they were trying to create a nonstop atmosphere of dread, tension, fear, horror as soon as the film opens up. Excuse me, where a young guy suddenly wakes up underwater in this bathtub and he's struggling for breath, and he gets up and he finds that he's in this industrial men's room of your absolute nightmares. And I spent my entire life in blue collar environments, and I've seen some really ugly rooms, ugly machinery and all that stuff, and filth everywhere, but nothing ever like this. What a real nightmare! And so he finds himself chained up, a very thick chain to a pipe on the wall, and he looks across the room, and there's another guy on the other side of the room who's exactly in the same condition. They don't know each other, we think. So, but we also don't know that in the very first scene of the film, we see something going down the drain of this bathtub when he's trying to get out of it. That is going to be the element for his eventual destruction, right? We don't know that until the last scene of the film. This was brilliantly conceived. The writing, the atmosphere, the pace, the sound, the acting was terrific. Very, very convincing. I have to give it to these guys. I don't want to, but I have to. They created a brilliant film. Now, I can't say I enjoyed the experience, and I was expecting it to be even worse than it was. I thought it was just going to be nonstop, just blood pouring out of the screen. I and that didn't happen. But it was something. I have to yeah. I'm not disappointed that I actually saw this and gave it a chance. However, we'll get to the subjective part now. This is not my style, and I will never watch this again. And I will certainly not pursue the series, which I assume, I could be wrong, I assume gets even more visceral and crazy with each episode. Maybe not. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly why anybody would make a film like this and why people would love watching it. I can't imagine it. It's so far from my own standards of what I want to put into my head and what I think is good for human culture. And I'm not going to get preachy about it. I have very strong feelings about screen violence and the ugliness that we see in so many films. There's a lot of ugliness in this. I mean, it's just nonstop. And I don't think anybody's ever done it any better than this. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of uh, what's kind of what is I mean, really dark exploitation type films. A lot of titles that a lot of you would recognize, and I just avoid them as much as possible. This is not the kind of horror film that I like to watch and collect. But so I got through it, but I don't know. This kind of degradation and desperation. The scene where the young mother with her little girl was, I mean, it was just horrible, horrible to watch. Totally believable. I can't imagine what this little child actress was going through trying to make this film. That was tough, you know. But I don't see. I don't. I guess there's some good here. Some well, they made a lot of money. In 103 minutes of running time, they created an amazing thrill ride, which I guess makes a lot of people excited and somehow fulfilled. I don't know. Maybe people use films like this as therapy. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe it actually helps people to deal with the real ugliness and darkness of the world we live in now. I don't know. Or maybe it contributes to that darkness. I don't know. I'm not. I'm not a psychiatrist, even though I have one on speed dial. Um, so anyway, yeah, I got through a song. Thanks, Joe, for suggesting it, and you were right. It has an amazing plot line, and I guess in a way it was worth seeing. I will give this away to Goodwill, so somebody else can share the joy. So anyway, so comments are welcome. Let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next one.